But I'm saying it's not the real river. The river is a metaphor, of course. It's about taking the...
I was imagining a physical...
I know, you were. That's
system.
why I know that is why I had to explain it. I know who am I speaking with.
Yeah, by the way, guys, hey, boys and girls, welcome back to Midgame Life Crisis. I'm Inconsistency. We already started this shit, bro. I don't care. I'm Inconsistency.
I'm Werewolf.
And I'm Blazing Zombie Rhino.
BZR, man. Welcome
Friend
to
of
the
the
show.
show.
Friend of the show. Welcome back. Actually, what? Well, in this version, he wasn't.
So yeah, spiritual shit goes over my head.
Yes.
And I'm not too fast.
Yeah.
Like, I don't catch it.
No, not at all.
Anyways, guys, welcome to the monthly podcast.
Episode 16.
BZR is our special guest here. Thanks for joining us, bro. We wanted to do this for a while now. Bro,
Yes.
I wanted to ask you something. Actually, I wanted to ask you, Wolf, something before we get to BZR.
So fun.
If you want to shoot, don't talk.
I heard you went to watch the new Thunderbolts movie, the Marvel.
Yes,
movie.
I have. I even took the wife with me.
Oh, you don't say. No, and the kids? One of the kids?
Fuck no.
None of them love that shit? They're too young for it yet still? Or they just don't care about it?
Regardless, I want wife time.
Oh, wow, okay.
Keep the kids out of it.
It's for some alone time with the wife.
Who's a date?
Yeah, okay, cool.
We are entitled to a life of our own without the kids.
He doesn't
No, you're
understand.
not.
He doesn't get it.
No, you're not. You're not entitled. Fuck you. So how was the movie?
It was good. It's Marvel, so you come with low expectations.
These days, yeah, for sure.
And, it's got that Guardians of the Galaxy vibe.
Yeah.
Doesn't take itself too seriously and lots of good humor. The last part with the villain, there was a lot. I'm trying to keep it spoiler free.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of mindful emotion dealing with life crisis.
Like trauma and shit
Yeah,
like that.
I don't know. Lots of touchy-feely shit that I was less connected to. But the movie is good. It was an enjoyable experience. Wife enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And I'd recommend people to watch it.
Okay, all right. Bro, was there anything different about this movie than the last few, like,
All the characters
Marvel
are
movies?
like anti-heroes, They're not... They even... And this is exactly what I mean, that the movie not taking itself seriously. So they decided they're going for the anti-hero trope now. It's not like the Avengers. It's all the bad guys and the people with make the wrong decisions
Right.
that fail upwards.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that fail into good deeds.
It's like Suicide Squad-esque?
No,
kinda?
but they're like declared villains,
Like Suicide Squad-esque. That's
Yeah,
exactly
but
what
these
I
guys
think.
are trying to do good. They're just bad at it.
I guess, but in the end, you could say that Suicide Squad is used to do good as well in a twisted kind of way. I don't know how, by the way, BZR, you know the Suicide Squad comics?
Of course.
So, how the movies I don't like are any of the Suicide Squad movies except the last one that was made by James Gunn. Did you watch it? The last Suicide Squad with, you know
I
what I'm talking
haven't,
about?
but-
You haven't? Really?
No, but if it's James Gunn,
I enjoyed it. It's funny as fuck.
It's the one with, what's his name? John Cena?
Yes. The one with, that he plays Peacemaker. He plays Peacemaker.
Play
Yes.
music. That guy's amazing.
He is. Bro,
No.
yeah, he can act.
He
Why are you laughing? He can act. I'm actually being serious.
that you have to say it.
John Cena.
Because he's John Cena, bro. He came from a wrestling background. There's not like that many good actors.
He
No.
is so good in comedy.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's so good in comedy.
He is. He has timing. He has comedic timing.
He has amazing comedy.
I agree. Yeah. Did you see Peacemaker, the show as well?
Yes.
Oh,
I've seen it. It's amazing.
He's hilarious. But that show came from the success of the movie, the Suicide Squad movie, the version of James Gunn, not the shitty, terrible version that made before him. I don't even know. David Ayer, I think, whatever the fuck. That was horrible. The last version, you should watch it.
I should.
You love it. I think you like it, right?
Yes. And the show was amazing too.
Yeah, and season 2 is coming out soon, by the way, this year. Like,
What
very
show?
soon.
Peacemaker.
Oh,
Just John Cena is the...
I mean, the side characters are pretty good there as well.
Yes. It was a good
What's
show.
the name of the...
I don't remember anything from the show except the fact that I had a lot of
Do
fun
I have a
watching it.
venue to watch it legally?
Yes. It's in Amazon Prime.
No, Peacemaker, I think it's HBO Max, I think. There's
I
like...
watched it on one of the streaming services I own, which is Disney,
Disney Plus,
Netflix,
Netflix, and Prime.
and Prime.
Yeah, so it's Prime, for sure. You know what? Let me check. You guys...
It's not that important.
Okay, fuck it, I want to check.
I'm pretty sure it's Prime, and I know you have Prime.
Yeah. All right.
Might be Prime, yeah.
Peacemaker?
Peacemaker, right?
Peacekeeper.
Peacekeeper? Fuck, we're so fucking... Bro.
I
Anyway.
think it's Peacekeeper.
Yeah.
Peacemaker. Yes.
I put the seeds of doubt.
Yes.
He's willing to kill in order to keep peace, bro. That's one of his greatest mottos. Anyways, yeah, it's a great fucking movie.
And he decides who needs to die.
Yeah, but that movie is like. Did you see the Suicide Squad movie? Not the show, not the Peacemaker show.
Yeah.
So we're trading off the Thunderbolts, yeah.
No, I wanted to just. I just wanted to connect it because I wanted to know. You said that you know the comics, BZR. You said you know the comics of the Thunderbolts.
I know Thunderbolts comics from back then, and the main character there, the leader of the Thunderbolts back then, was Hawkeye.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Was he even in the fucking movie?
No.
And that is why I didn't even bother going to.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because for me, classic Thunderbolts was always with Hawkeye.
But who else is?
Who else is in there?
I don't remember. I really don't remember.
The Russian Bear. Do you remember him? Like the Russian Captain America, the Captain Russia.
You don't remember any other characters?
I don't remember any other characters because it was a lot of outliers from other Marvel universes came together and went back there.
That's true.
And I actually don't remember because I haven't read them for over 20 years, I think. I still have them at home.
But do you remember them being as anti-heroes or like...
I remember them being funny because Hawkeye back then, the way it was written, Hawkeye was very funny.
Really?
Yes. Hawkeye was a very funny character.
Really? I didn't know that.
He used to tease the fuck out of Steve Rogers all the time.
Oh, so Steve Rogers was part of the... Oh, you mean in the Avengers?
Yes.
Right.
He used to tease...
In the comics, he teases them a lot.
All the time.
Steve Rogers is fun.
Yeah, that's true. It's very easy.
It's easy, exactly.
In comic
He's
books,
a straight arrow.
I remember that in the comic books, I couldn't even tell them apart because they were both tall, blonde, and blue-eyed. By the way.
They have different masks though, don't they?
Yes, but
One dresses in black.
there were times they met in person. And I knew who Hawkeye was because I remember the time he wore like an I Love Captain America t-shirt or something.
so wait. If Hawkeye was the leader of Thunderbolts and you're saying that in the movie they're like almost like treated like as anti-heroes, right?
Yeah.
How does that make sense? Because Hawkeye in Avengers is like, he's a good guy, relatively.
No, Hawkeye was always a good guy. They're trying to do good, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's my point as well. So
I'll get back to my point.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Okay?
Yeah.
This is how it gels similarly to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Where the movie just puts it in your face that it doesn't take it seriously, where they know they are trying the trope of the anti-heroes trying to do good.
Yeah.
And this is why they keep saying it.
Right.
I
see.
We're the new Avengers. We have to do better. We have to prove ourselves or whatever. That Russian bear guy, he's so funny. I love that. The character and the actor is great. He's amazing.
What's his name? You know, it's the guy from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
I forgot his name. He's great. He's great in everything
exactly.
he does.
And he's like that all the time. He's like, we have to be like the Avengers and we are the new Avengers or whatever. And they just put it in your face. Like
I remember him from Black Widow.
Yes. Oh, the movie.
Yeah. Right. And the sister is also.
Yeah, she's also in part of the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
She's also Russian, right?
Yeah, she's the Romanov's sister.
Yeah,
she's a Romanov.
Yeah. So the movie.
If that's their last name, I don't know.
So you're saying it's a recommended movie, basically?
Yeah, it's a good laugh.
For a Marvel movie.
Juliette Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah. Isn't she the villain there?
She's doing a great performance.
Who's the main villain in the movie?
She is.
She is?
Well, she's like the arch villain.
Isn't there like some superhuman?
What character?
Yeah, there is a superhuman because he.
What character is she?
She's like the owner of all the. She's something in the state. She's also some representative in the government, but she's also the funder of all the research that made these people what they are.
So it's a bit
experimenting with people.
It's a bit reminds me a bit of Amanda Waller from Suicide Squad. Again, the equivalence. She works in the government in some some black op branch.
You can also equate it to that woman in The Boys that also was big shot in the whole operation of making the
You're talking about
Outlander or whatever his name is.
Yes, right. The one that he later, I don't want to spoil.
Yeah, he took care of it.
Yeah, you could say that. Shit. Anyways, You're looking for who's the actor?
That was classic Frankenstein's monster turns on the creator.
Yeah, that's right. So okay. I'll tell you what. I have a problem with today's Marvel. I can't be arsed to go pay money to watch the movies in the theaters these days. It's not worth it in my opinion.
This one will not disappoint you.
Yeah, I heard it's decent. I haven't heard it's amazing, but I heard it's decent compared to shit. Right? If you compare it to the other Marvel movies, which most of them, in my opinion at least, are not good.
Lately, they're not great.
No. The new Captain America was horrible, bro. Did you see that shit?
No, but you know that the new Captain America is in the movie.
Is he? Steve, you mean the black one, right?
No, I mean the guy that was like the Captain America that killed someone and then wasn't Captain America anymore.
I don't know who is it. Do you remember who is talking? You did see
the
old fucking Marvel movies. Who killed Captain America? The old Captain? You're talking about the show, bro?
Yeah, it was in a show, in a series.
I don't give a shit about whatever the fucking happened in those shows.
I don't give a shit about it either, but he's in the movie.
The movies are the what I'm referring to. Nobody cared about that show. That show was also...
In the movie, it was Falcon that replaced him, no?
Yes.
No, he's not in it. Because he's not an anti-hero.
I see, yeah. So that's what I meant, Falcon, which became somehow... he became
Falcon America.
Falcon America, yeah. That movie failed spectacularly.
I haven't watched it.
Yeah, let's move on to, unless anyone else want to add anything about it? What's the last comic movie you watched, BZR?
I think Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun movie. That was a fun movie. I enjoyed that.
It already on the podcast.
Yeah, we did. So what? I didn't hear his thoughts about it. I didn't hear
I agreed with you.
That sums it up. Let's move on. EA, bro, they canceled Titanfall. Basically, there was a development of Titanfall 3.
It's canceled. It's like don't ignore the human tragedy here. They canceled Titanfall and fired like 100-something people.
I didn't even let me get there, bro. But yeah, it was pretty fucking classic EA move, or any big corporation these days of that in the gaming industry that is getting gutted, completely gutted by these horrible fucking layoffs. By the way, did you know, we talked about it, we mentioned it before, but we'll mention it again now that BZR is here, that it is last year and this year nothing ever came close to the amount of layoffs, comparably to previous decades. Nothing comes close.
Record-breaking layoffs in the gaming industry.
Yeah, which is mostly from the AAA industry. We should say some from the other industries of like AA as well. Here and there, some independent studios couldn't survive all this fucking shit, but
because they were all owned by corporates who needed to consolidate.
Yeah, pretty much, or got sold to some bigger company or whatever. Well, BZR, I see from your face you're extremely invested in this subject. What's your thoughts about it?
It's a money business,
right?
And if they're closing a division, people are getting fired.
That's how it goes, you say.
That's just a fact.
That's just life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how is that? It's sad, yes, but to call it tragedy.
Yeah, people losing their livelihoods is a tragedy.
Yes, but that's
when it happens in companies like Ubisoft, when you just published a successful game that sold well and still fire people.
But it's part
of all corporates do that.
But it's part of the market. That's how this market works.
We are criticizing it. We're not saying it's not happening.
Okay. I will say it like this. If there's a chance to pivot, to try and take that team, to make it into another game, take the assets, move it into another game, yes, try not to fire people. But if you can't do that, if holding on to these people for no reason is costing you more money. It's not for no reason.
You can find what to do with them. You're deciding not to go somewhere, and as the CEO, you won't touch the precious bonuses or the inflated salary that you get. No, you can fire people.
I'm not getting any inflated salary, okay? Just
what, are
for
you
public information.
Are you a CEO of a company, of a
no,
AAA company?
I felt personally accused.
Oh, no.
He is a CEO.
But not on a AAA gaming company?
No.
Okay, that's all
And it's like this. It's business.
All right, yeah, it is business. That's what you're saying. What we're saying is that comparatively to previous years, it wasn't that bad. That's our point, bro. Okay. It wasn't that bad a few years ago. The industry is getting worse. That's why we're criticizing.
It's not just that. When you have examples of companies that make it work without having to fire 1 million people every time a quarter ends, Okay, you know that there's another way. Because if you look at Larian, if you look at all those companies that are successful and they put out AAA games, but they don't have to close whole divisions after they do that just to appease some shareholder, then you know you can do it differently without having to hurt people's livelihoods all the time. And those CEOs make a lot of money. They can cut in lots of places without having to fire people.
That's also true. You see how they do it in Japan. They literally cut their own fucking
Especially
wages.
when the company doesn't do well, and who pays the price is the workers instead of the person steering the fucking ship.
I actually feel
that's capitalism, and that's agreeable. I'm not arguing with you about that. What I am saying is also when you become a game developer, you know it's a thing that happens. You can't be blind to it. You know, that's your livelihood. As you said, that's your profession, that's your career. And divisions end. Divisions get fired. Divisions get dismissed completely and flooded into the work market.
But even after a
that happens.
Project?
Exactly. The point is, the criticism is not that you have to close divisions. The criticism is that you have to do it after you report record-breaking revenues, for example, or after you fire people regardless of how well they were working as an employee. This is awkward. Okay?
Yeah, that's
if
a problem.
you have to, you want to close the whole division, you can still do a little bit of effort as a management and fire people elsewhere who are not performing as well as you want, but keep the ones that are performing well and move them around the company. Make an effort to keep the ones that actually are hard working.
I mean, what about all the vast of experience that you lose?
Yeah, of course, but they don't care about that. They have to show a slash of money for the fucking shareholders.
Yeah, it's all about the shareholders. The shareholders are the consumer, not the consumer, right? The shareholder are the actual customer they're trying to please.
But that's that's the fiduciary responsibility.
I agree with you.
Of the board and of the CEO.
I agree with that. I can't argue with the technical...
We're not saying this is not the reality, we're criticizing it.
Yes, we think it could be improved.
Do you have... Okay, how would you improve it?
We just said. He just gave you a few examples.
No, you didn't. You just gave me a lot of passwords. How would you improve it financially without losing the mandate for the shareholders?
What do you mean?
Even if you have to fire people, let's say this is exactly the point where you make... As a business owner, I can tell you the highest expenses is the salaries, of course. This is the highest expense of the company. However, you can still cut the same number of workers, only not just blatantly with an axe, deciding this entire part of the company ceases to exist, but make an effort and do it wisely, according to some criteria that make sense both for the workers and for the company.
Also, you're not thinking long term. When you're cutting this people off, you're not thinking long term. You're only thinking short term.
You're losing.
You will pay for that later.
You're losing corporate knowledge.
Yes.
No recruitment, because if you recruit 2 weeks later, when a new when a new quarter begins.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Recruitment costs a lot of money.
Roger.
He wants to talk.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is because you keep strawmanning me. Really, I'm not saying that it's strawmanning.
Hey, not everybody understands what that debate term means. Can you explain it? Strawmanning? It's like basically...
No, let me just get to my point.
Okay.
I'm curious. I don't know what it means.
Yeah, that's why I asked him to explain.
You're basically reducing my argument to a specific place. Like, that it should be virtuous in a way. That's what you're saying. That if you have to cut, make it virtuous.
You have an alternative. Virtuous.
Why not make? I think you meant more make it make sense, not virtue, not big virtue. Make it make sense.
Okay. You say potato, I say potato.
No, I will say because if you're talking about sense, it makes sense to cut a division.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Because if you decide that you stop allocating money to a specific project, to a specific task, you can tie it to a division, you can tie it to an arm, you can tie it to a function.
Can I respond to that?
Yes, of course you can respond. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is there is more logic here than it's not just blatantly, and you can choose about those workers and try to make what you're saying, make everything performance. Performance, and if you have to fire for someone about performance.
I'm not saying only. I'm saying only. But you need to put that into consideration, which they do not.
I'm trying to say is they can try and take care of the workers, put some plans, try to devolve some projects, see where projects need reinforcement, and try to keep, especially workers who gave a lot and are good workers.
Is Japan a capitalistic country?
I don't think I have the knowledge to.
I'm telling you, yes, completely. It is a normal capitalistic country. Like just like it works like a Western country.
I don't think anything in the description of Japan follows normal.
Sure, but they have a performance-based what you would call it
paradigm.
As the better you are, the more you raise in status and in your professional life, the more salary you should be getting until you reach some sort of plateau or not. I don't know, right? Depending on how talented and how hardworking you are, I suppose. That's how it's supposed to be in a normal capitalistic society, right? Or economic model, whatever you want to call it. All right. In Japan, they find a way. They are unique in this, by the way, and that's why I'm giving them an example. It's an easy example. They find a way when your performance, when a company performs bad, not just in gaming, by the way, in all their industry. It's an honor-based system, if you will. If my company performs bad, I take responsibility because I am the CEO. Mm-hmm. I will punish myself to the point of maybe even firing myself and being replaced. What?
Quitting.
Yes, it happened before. This is all like, I'm not making this up.
Stepping down.
Yes, and when people perform well, and your company, Capcom is a classic example. They were performing very well in the last few years. Started raising the fucking cap of their salaries to all uniformly to their company to keep the morale high and make more good games with more experienced people who now work better together. Not just completely finish doing a task and then cut off the division. It's like using your arms to do something, and then after you finish doing it, you don't need that arms anymore. You cut them off and bring some new cybernetic arms that are inexperienced and don't understand your body, don't know how to function. I don't know. That's how I see it anyways.
I'm just imagining a guy cutting himself an arm and putting a bionic arm on it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Soldier? That's exactly what I wanted you to imagine.
Yes.
Yeah. So, point taken, as they said, or given, whatever you want to call it. Listen.
Bionic hand sounds cool.
It does. It does sound cool. But then you figured that...
And you also talked with a lot of bias about it.
How do you mean? Of course I'm biased. I love the industry. I love the gaming industry.
About the bionic hands.
Oh. Shit. My secret is out.
And about the industry?
About the industry. I'm not saying there's no room to try and take care of the employees. That's obviously something I think a company should do.
Yes.
There's the whole ECG stuff and everything, all about that, the ESG.
What's that? Why are you saying that is not the logical path as well?
Because that is not always the path for revenue.
To
increase revenue in a really, really exceptional way. Or if you know about losses somewhere and you have to make up for those losses. If the losses are from a division, it's easily explainable also to just cut a division.
Yes, I agree with that.
This was exactly my point. You're using the exact word, easily.
Yes.
They are making the path of least resistance.
Because it costs, they have a fiduciary responsibility to the shareholders.
The fiduciary responsibility stays the same even if they make an effort as a CEO.
Yes. Exactly.
And I'm not saying not to make an effort, but you're saying it so totally, so absolutely, like no one ever tries to make it.
No, we didn't say that.
I didn't say
that is how you try. I don't know about Capcom. Which company was it that we talked about?
Yeah,
Capcom.
Yeah.
No, but about the one that cut the division of Titanfall.
EA. Yeah.
Okay, that's fucking EA.
Yes.
Are we really talking about morals from EA?
But it's not just them, right? It's just they're just a symptom.
No, but they are just playing what the industry does.
Yeah, I mean,
and sometimes business-wise, that is the right thing to do. You have to accept that.
No, because I just showed you examples of companies who are showing you they are doing things differently and they thrive.
They don't definitely face the same issues.
You can always say that. So that means we can't discuss the industry at large
because
at all.
If you know there is a division that is a fucking sinkhole, if you know that there is a division that is costing you more money, you don't expect any revenue from it.
I'm not saying don't cut the division, but I'm saying deciding that everyone and everything in the division is worthless when you cut it is making the easiest decision, not making an effort to decide, okay, let's scrutinize what's in the division. Let's decide what corporate knowledge from it is
what worked, what didn't work.
What worked, what didn't work. And then the things that worked, keeping and cutting the same value from other places where these things will replace.
Yes, that's being more optimized, being more efficient.
Yes.
How is that bad in a
and also if the numbers don't match and you have to reduce some more money from somewhere, your own salary or bonuses is really okay. I haven't seen once.
And then you ask why I felt personally attacked.
Once a Western CEO cutting anything from his income when he needs to cut something from the company, when he needs to consolidate.
Do you know what his monthly expenses are? No, I'm kidding.
Yes, he just bought 4 yachts, man. Come on.
Those state yachts don't take care of themselves.
Exactly. He's got 4 divorces to sustain.
All I'm saying is that what you're saying is truly, in my opinion, too, the right way to try and do that. But I am saying I don't think it's always possible to do that. And sometimes, in a way, companies will need to just cut division cold cutly because that is something that doesn't frighten shareholders.
I see what you're saying. I think
exactly what I'm saying. This shareholder pandering is exactly the issue.
Yes, but that's the stock price.
The companies that prove that can be otherwise are usually ones that don't have to bow to shareholders.
Okay, I see what you're saying, BZR. You're saying that it is not more efficient to do what Wolf just said, that is to scrutinize and check performance based in every division. That takes time, takes money, right? That's what you're saying? Or rather than just cut the division that is no longer working on an active project right now. It is
the division that is losing you money. You basically cut it. You're sealing a leak. That's what you're doing.
You're killing a rat. Okay, you're cutting off.
How does that explanation work when you also see it happen in successful projects?
Not only that, you see sometimes.
Wait, you understand what I'm asking though?
I'm not saying corporate greed is not an issue.
Okay.
I'm not saying.
I can answer that. I can answer that easily.
Okay.
It's a successful project, but the division is cutting is not the division of the successful project. It's a different division. If a division is losing money, it's losing money. It doesn't matter if a different division is making money.
I thought that was obvious. I thought he would argue me like, imagine Titanfall just made bajillion money and we're shutting the division. That I have no explanation for. Right. That I would have no explanation for.
Don't shut down the successful game. But Ubisoft is not shutting down divisions in Assassin's Creed. They're shutting down divisions elsewhere.
But there are cases where literally a company had a successful game and they literally fired the company that created the game after that. A publisher. And
this is the point I was going to make to this year now, where I said you can add to that. These companies, as a plan ahead, they take project workers that they decide are going to be only for this project and they're going to let go when the project...
That's called outsourcing, by the way.
But no, when it's outsourcing, you pay a company like Qualitest that they can get you workers for anything, and then you pay someone to get you workers. No, they take them into the company.
Yeah, I understand.
They are employees of the company, but they know the contract ends when the project ends.
I personally was... That's called outsourcing. I was outsourced by a outsourcing company to a high-tech company to do a specific project. I worked there for a few months. I was inside their company. I had
considered an employee of the company when you were there?
No, of course not.
That's what I mean.
That's what I also mean. Outsourcing. That's why it's called outsourcing, because it sources outside of the company.
And I'm telling you, if you're going to use a name only for example.
Okay.
Blizzard decides it's doing a DLC for something.
Right.
The workers they are taking into the company are workers of Blizzard. They're not of a company that they're paying to. They are becoming Blizzard employees, but their contract under contract that says when the DLC is finished, you are out of a job.
Yes. How is that wrong if someone signs it?
No, I didn't say that's wrong.
I'm not saying it's wrong if someone signs it. I'm saying for the company, this is short-sightedness
Yes.
You're losing corporate knowledge. You
Yes.
are going to recruit new workers.
That's what I said.
After, for a next project, you're going to recruit workers again. Recruitment takes time, takes money, takes effort. All of these things are things that you can make it them more efficient by not firing the ones that are good workers.
And you can take, that is an ESG approach.
What does ESG mean? Sorry,
it's a new corporate governance way about equality, socially and governance of the.
So woke crap.
Are you sure?
Yes and
DEI?
no.
Are you talking about DEI?
DIE is a part of qualifications of ESG.
Okay,
yes.
So yes, it is woke shit.
It's under the social.
So it is the woke shit. Okay,
yes.
okay. Yeah, that shit is
ruining
modern society.
I gave examples of European corporates as well, and we used the Asian market as well. So if it's something that is unique to the American,
no, it doesn't unique to the American. It's about a new model to how a company should be. That they try to imply that.
So these stand for ethical, maybe.
I don't remember. It was something in my masters. You can check ESG.
Yeah.
What it means is that it's how a company should act, as in to make as best environmental. Yes,
environmental, social, and governance. That was Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
So this is what? This is something that all corporations need to follow?
That's something they need. It's a framework.
Just read it. Framework used to evaluate
company sustainability and ethical impact on various stakeholders.
Yes.
It's a way for investors, analysts, and other stakeholders to assess a company's performance and risk profile beyond traditional financial metrics, focusing on non-financial factors. Bro, this is literally woke shit, my friend.
Yes, but that's exactly what you said. That's exactly what he pushed the entire talk.
No.
Yes.
No. How do you see that?
Because
this is nothing.
Yes.
What we're saying is not ESG.
What you're saying is completely ESG.
Partly.
I disagree completely.
Because it's taking the only metric that counts, which is the share of value and shareholders' benefit, and put in non-financial matters inside.
Yeah,
that's not the only thing that counts. That's the thing. They take it from the framework that's the only thing that counts. That's ESG. Because what is today, we're cutting the divisions, making everything cut. It's for the bottom line, like you said.
But it is not. It is focusing on non-financial factors.
No, wait. He's not talking about this. Listen.
I am talking about this.
We're not saying don't consider financial aspects. They never said
that's ESG. ESG says don't consider only financial bottom lines. Consider the welfare of your workers, your impact on the environment, the way you commit ethics in your business. That's what it says. And factor all those in with the bottom line.
That's all nice and dandy. I'm saying that all of the claims that I've made, all of the observations in our debate, I used financial terms. I said places where you are saving money by not spending it unnecessarily.
It doesn't mean unnecessarily, because you assume it's unnecessarily. I'm saying that I don't know it's unnecessarily.
Wait. Necessary or not, I'm saying it's a bottom line of numbers, like you said.
Where is it?
It saves money.
In one company on specific terms. On other company on specific terms after the best game that ever been in the last 3 millennia. I don't know how long. Yes, you gave Larian as an example.
No. That's not what we discussed now. I said, if a company fires workers and then 2 weeks later in a new quarter recruit new workers, that company wasted money, and this is a fact.
Listen, first of all, I wanna
especially if it's recruiting the same job that it released.
Listen,
I want to see examples for this, first of all. And if they do, I want to see examples to understand the situation. Maybe there's stuff I don't.
If you fired a programmer,
yes,
and 2 weeks later you recruit a programmer,
but if
you wasted money, you have a programmer.
But if you don't like this guy. No, but if you didn't like this guy.
That's something
that's nice. But that's not what they're doing.
How do you know?
No, because they fire him because he's a part of the division. They decided it's unnecessary anymore, and this is short-sighted.
We know because they
2 weeks later they're going to recruit the same kind of job for a different division.
Okay, you ask how do we know? We know because they close complete companies that with a successful track record. That's how we know. That's the equivalent.
But you're talking about cutting
off a complete division.
Not division. You're saying they're cutting up a legal entity.
Wow.
You said you're causing up companies.
No, a company that is under that publisher, right? The AAA publisher. It has a bunch of companies, right? That it publishes their games, and they choose by the performance of those games, right? If to
cut the company or not cut
the company, increase company, scale it down, scale it up, right? Keep it the same. Sure,
they're cutting a company.
Yes.
No, he's saying also if they decide to make the company smaller.
Sure,
like
that can also.
Unsuccessful, he's saying we're not closing the studio.
That's what happened
but
with
we're going to fire half the workers and make them smaller studios.
That's what's going to happen with Ubisoft now. Exactly what's going to happen. And that game was successful.
I don't understand you, I guess. I'm afraid I really...
It's okay.
I don't understand...
I like
I don't understand the issue.
Saying it plainly.
When it's a company?
Listen, I'm saying it plainly. Yes, when it is a company. If you decided to close Division A,
yes.
Okay, and Division A, one of the...
But Division A is not Division A.
It's not making money, it's losing money.
It's a company. It's in honor.
It's not a company.
I'm
not saying what he said. No. A division in your company.
Okay.
The Titanfall division, okay? The Titanfall division is not making money. You decided to close the project. And you're firing all the workers. And one of those worker titles, for example...
Wait, you can't just say that. It's not just the Titanfall company. You can't just say that because that's just...
Not a company, a division.
It doesn't matter, even the division. Call it what the fuck you want. That division has a rich history of making a lot of success for your company, making them a lot of money.
I'm making the case for him. I'm making the point so he can...
Okay, but I wanted to add that part. It's not just any division. It's a highly successful division.
Used to be.
I mean, what is your definition of used to? That's the thing.
How much money did I spend on it in the last quarter and the quarter before?
Like you said, I don't know their financials, but I do know all their some of their biggest successes came from that company, not other companies, right? Inside that umbrella. So
let's go to your very specific.
Sure.
Yeah, because I speak in your terms and he's speaking in terms I understand why you are saying, okay, and the money. I'm trying to say it in your terms. And what he means is, when you cut the entire division, if you have a very talented game developer there, who has also corporate knowledge of how the workflow is in your company and what are the right steps you do and the way the work culture works for you, okay? And you decide to fire him with the entire company because you just cut the division without caring who is in it. But this is a worker that you can absorb in a different division.
Then you're being stupid. You're being stupid.
No, you're retaining a lot of corporate knowledge.
Yes, what I'm saying is, if you let the guy go, you're being stupid. That's what you're saying.
Wait.
And I agree with you.
Wait, when you know...
He's so good, when you know he's good.
Not just that you are going to recruit his job title in that division in a week.
If that happens...
Yes.
I agree with you completely.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
Yes.
Those examples
not ESG.
Those examples are recurring in the gaming industry.
But then I'm saying ESG is good for you because ESG is what's trying to make people understand that there is actually financial value. Let's explore the financial value of being more inclusive.
I understand that, but I was not touching into that at all.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that is exactly where what you're saying comes to effect, and I agree with that. That is a good way of making business. What you're saying is a completely logical, human, and more financial secure way. And old business, old capitalism, yes, and old capitalism works in a way that is cut without letting that issue pass. And yes, that's why there is an attempt to try and get more and more companies to follow ESG rules. And there is a Blackstone investments hedge fund and a lot of other hedge funds that really try to push this ESG thing and ESG investing in total in shares and companies based on those parameters.
Right.
And you would appreciate stuff like environmental factors, pollution, and carbon signature, and all of that, and social, being ethical with your workers, pay gaps. Ethical pay, minimum wage for your workers and everything. It's a wonderful thing. And that is the thing that I just wanted you to know, that the market is going more and more into places of that.
Okay.
Sure, we agree with that, but
maybe the gaming industry needs to level up a bit.
Someone needs to introduce that.
Yeah, we should probably, because I do agree with you. In the end of the day, in a capitalistic fucking high-functioning capitalistic country like the USA, right? Even though this shit happens in Europe as well. When you need to satisfy your shareholders and the end of the quarter is coming up and you have a shareholder meeting and you need to show them the green arrow going up and not down or staying the same.
And your brat of a kid is giving you time, your wife is spending your money.
You need to buy a second. Yes.
Your yacht just broke and the private jet was not putting out, so you're gonna say, fuck it, I'm closing this division, I don't give a shit.
The private jet is in the fucking garage, you know?
Yeah.
Shit happens, you need to cut the division, bro. And that's a quick and easy, quick and dirty fix. I agree with that.
The next time my yacht would be in shop, I will not close the division.
I think that's the perfect way to sum this
promise.
up. Understood.
This is recorded.
Okay.
This obligation you have to take on
yourself. In the wake of what we just talked about, of the industry, basically, the AAA specifically, the AAA industry within the gaming world, having so many issues and closing up shop and making people letting go of a lot of people. What happens, what we're seeing the fallout of what happens after that. But we're seeing the positive fallout of what happens after that. As in, you see these new companies, young companies that are either self-published, independent, or a AA company under a much lenient, a much more cooperative publisher usually, much smaller scale than those huge ones, right?
Yeah.
And they make these amazing, usually single-player focused games, not live service and nothing, anything like that.
Like a huge, old, young company used to do, called Blizzard.
Exactly. Exactly. Absolutely.
When they cared about the games.
Yes.
And what you're saying is that those people find their way into...
After getting let go, yes. or leaving from their own volition.
Capitalism wins?
Yes.
You end up getting a better game?
Listen, you won't hear me calling for socialism up here, bro. I'm a capitalist, same as you. I like capitalism. I just don't like unchecked, unregulated, greedy, disgusting capitalism that is going on right now, where nothing matters. Literally nothing matters but the fucking arrow going up. That I don't like. I do like. Of course, I like capitalism. We live in a capitalistic world, in the Western world. It is what it is, and I'm okay with it. But at some point,
I'm not.
I live in La La Land. I don't know what you know.
I mean, you're not? What do you mean?
Never mind.
What?
I'm not.
You gave the most capitalistic viewpoint till now, and now you're saying you're not? What? What do you mean? You can't just... Well, come on. That's cock teasing. You're cock teasing me right now.
No, I'm not.
Stop teasing my cock. Tell me.
It's my job to be able to defend points of view.
To advocate the other side.
Then you did an amazing job, if that's true.
Because I also believe that side.
Okay.
But that side is not the only thing that matters.
Okay, that's fair.
But money matters.
Money matters a lot. That's capitalism.
That's why most of my claims were financial.
Yes. We're not calling for Yes. Okay, let's not rehash that part. But anyways, as we
said,
said,
the point.
I think he said it, didn't he?
Okay. No, I'm just saying. I'm not. I'm saying there's other ways, but never mind. And we're not going to go into it.
Okay.
About what I am.
Sure.
So not living in a capitalistic world.
Yes. So the highest reviewed games of 2025, basically so far, right, have been all single player.
According to Metacritic, we should say.
Yes, not just Steam reviews as well. Highly rated single player games, right? From usually companies that it's either their first game ever, or they have like a few games under their belt that are either self-published or under some double. You have one unique, by the way, outlier here from the same company we just shed on for 30 minutes, EA. They have Split Fiction, which is published by them, and that game is extremely successful. It's a single player game.
I know.
You played it?
No, but I'm planning.
You can play it with maybe you can play it with someone, right?
The plan is to play it with my wife.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is a couples game.
Yes, it's a couples game. Couples. Yes, it's a game for couples. Exactly. So
what is it?
Can you
have to, there's levels, there's like a story and there's levels, and you have to do it cooperatively with your partner. But it's made like for cooperation.
It's extremely smartly designed, it's very funny and engaging, and it's a very highly, you can check it out later, it's a very highly regarded and highly critically acclaimed game, and it also made a lot of money for EA, right? For a lot less investment, because it's not like this huge live service production, that it needs to be sustained for years.
The big point here is that this and the two other games that are leading the charts right now cost $50 or less.
And
cost $80.
Yes, they don't cost $70 or $80, and they cost a lot less to invest in as well.
Not only that, they are made for a specific audience.
Yes,
all of them are niche, like they are tailored for a very specific part of the market, not for everyone.
Yes, absolutely. Clerics Obscure is another one. That's a game that I'm definitely going to be playing. It looks amazing.
Same.
That game came from Ubisoft. You know Ubisoft, right? It came from guys that left Ubisoft because they were bored. They were little bored from doing the same shit all the time in Ubisoft and train tracing all day long, making NFT games. So they went and made it a real fucking gaming company. It's a small company, and they just to understand how small it is, they found their composer in fucking SoundCloud, bro. And the music is like one of the best things about the game. And the game was highly successful, extremely successful, both financially and critically.
What is the game?
Clair Obscure Expedition 33. That's the full name. Expedition 33 is the for sure. It's a JRPG, turn-based action game. Mostly RPG though. JRPG, they call it. Very heavily inspired by Final Fantasy games, if you play them or know them. I never played a Final Fantasy game, by the way. So yeah, I just wanted to say, it's interesting to see how the market is kind of finding a way to survive, right? But the thing is, the AAA market is still getting butchered. And I like AAA games, bro. I just don't like how much they cost today. I don't like how much they invest in them.
Because it's like we said previously in podcasts. They've been corporatized.
Yes.
The AAA industry has been heavily corporatized.
Yeah.
And this is now making it shit.
Yeah, and I feel like COVID, and I said that before, COVID-19
just accelerated that.
That accelerated that shit for sure. Do you plan to play Expedition 33?
At some point.
What are you playing right now, by the way? I forgot to ask.
Avowed.
Are you still on Avowed? Isn't this?
Oh, I barely have time to play.
Isn't it supposed to be like a short game?
No, but I'm a completionist. I explore everything.
Still, it's like considered a.
No, you don't have to explore the entire map. Not at all. You can stick to the story and the side quests, and you're not gonna see.
But what about Baldur's Gate 3? Didn't you guys used to play together, like co-op?
Yeah, we're not finding time.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Special editions. I cut down games.
Yeah. Now we're never gonna find.
I had no heart to tell to
Jones. So
no.
My colleague is very enthusiastic.
Someone I don't know?
No, you don't.
I even thought just for him to just take an hour in a week and allow it to myself because
just
it looks like he needs it.
Yeah.
And I don't mind. An hour a week I can.
He's joining our D&D team, so you better get to know him up close.
That's good.
Oh, he is?
He's a young dude. He's 20-something. His life is
he's still like optimistic about life. You're saying,
and he's got so much free time.
Yeah, I get it.
His life is his fiance and the cat. That's it.
Yeah, I get it.
Wow,
yeah, exactly. I fucking remember those times. Boy,
the old man, wow.
The computer so much.
The old man, wow. It's so universal, bro.
Back then,
everybody felt that.
Wow.
Exactly, and I wasted all that time on WoW. What a waste of time. What a waste of fucking time, man.
Oh, you meant literal World of Warcraft time.
Yes.
Like the world WoW.
So many hours in World of Warcraft. What a waste of time.
I mean, it wasn't a waste of time, really.
It was.
Hey, you enjoyed the game, sure. You played.
You had some relationship from that. You had some actual relationship.
Okay, I'm talking while in the relationship. I'm talking about gaming I did after I met my first wife.
But we got
okay.
We said the timeline of having a fiance and
that was a waste of time. That was a waste of time. You're right.
Okay.
Because before, when we were single, playing on WoW wasn't that bad because we got laid a lot.
Yes, exactly. And you got to tour Europe, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
What's bad about that, bro? That's great. Yeah, but that's back when WoW used to be good too. I mean, today it's fucking trash. Today, for years now, a decade, it's trash. More than a decade.
I wasted so much time on it.
Bro.
And if we're saying WoW used to be good and you're telling yourself, oh, so Wrath of the Lich King, no, we're talking vanilla. It's that old.
No, Wrath of the Lich King was good.
I'm not saying it's not. But I'm saying the period we are discussing is vanilla.
No, but having a fiance and a cat, for me that was Wrath of the Lich King.
Sure.
And back then I had the Death Knight.
Oh, I remember the Death Knight.
That couldn't be killed.
I remember that. Didn't we play together back then? I almost certain when I saw you Death Knight, bro?
I don't
Weren't
know.
you like one of the first people who hit the Death Knight in the server, bro? Level 60 or 70, whatever it was?
Yes, I spent way too much time on it.
I remember that.
That was exactly the point of this conversation.
I was known as the only Death Knight tank someone would
Yes, I remember that time. I played with you on the same server, bro. I was like much lower level.
And back to the point, that was a waste of time.
Yes,
that was
a waste of
time.
That was a waste of time. 100%. But hey,
so many good games you could
gamers.
No, man.
Nah, I mean,
so much life to be had.
Really. I mean, no, I'm not gonna look at it like that because I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer. That's
but
part
you
of
could have played like proper games.
Yes.
Not games that are designed to waste your time.
Yes,
I
agree
played
with.
a lot of Dragon Age back then too.
Dragon Age was amazing.
Yes.
It wasn't a waste of time, was it for you?
No.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're talking
story.
about. Yes.
But MMOs are
designed to waste your time.
Designed to waste your time.
But you know,
come on, I grinded dungeons for a fucking horse.
That's
a waste of time.
I'm not talking about that. Think about the money you needed to get the mount.
Yeah.
People
grinding gold to buy it or whatever. Yes.
And today in this fucking game, you can buy everything. You literally have to pay money for every little thing. You want to change your name, you want to change this, don't want to grind for 11 days straight to get the fucking mount? Okay, just buy it in the store.
But People pay,
and your player number is dwindling. So what are you going to do? You have to increase the revenue from what is left.
Yes,
you have to milk them harder.
They are whale hunting.
Oh, well, Blizzard are the expert whale hunters in this industry. They are right now, the only reason they're still alive is because of whale hunting.
Bro, they have a research division called King. They research the best whale hunting.
That's the mobile, isn't it? The mobile division, bro.
They research the best whale hunting psychology, and then they implement only the best tactics on WoW.
Bro, I think both my parents, no, not my mother, but for sure, my dad and my nephew and my brother-in-law, all of them completely and utterly addicted to Candy Crush for over a decade. I don't get it. I see my dad is a very smart man. Like, it doesn't matter how smart you are, it gets you. And like you said,
my wife likes her mobile.
Like you said,
she plays a bullshit mobile game.
It engages the dopamine levels in your brain. It gives you that hit, and you get to the
very
next
effective.
Very effective. One could say almost fatally effective. Like, it gets people addicted and it ruins their lives. Like, the people I gave you an example are people who can know how to manage their lives, but they're still addicted to that shit. There's a lot of people who don't know how to
compare my playtime on the computer and my wife's playtime on the stupid mobile phone. She plays more than me.
100%. 100. That's the funny thing.
And she tells me, no, I don't play video games.
Do you play any?
I'm not playing anymore because of exactly that thing. Yes, but up until a few months ago, I played Brawl Stars.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Same shit, bro. Same shit. And there's for the where it's get treated. This is where you two will tell me a lot more about it because I don't know enough. I only know from my nephews, bro. Yeah. I see from them how they're addicted to like the Roblox, whatever.
Roblox is
disaster.
Shit.
I want to hear what you guys think about it because that one is one of the most addicted games, the most successful
mobile game. That thing is child labor.
Yes, I heard that.
Child labor.
Yeah, both my nieces are addicted to that shit, bro. The younger one and the older one. I don't know, man. I heard some nasty shit about it, you know? Yeah, so I'm asking you guys because you have children.
No, you can't. No, my children don't touch that shit.
Oh, really? You managed to keep them away from it? And you as well?
No,
but my children are young.
Oliver plays Roblox.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yes.
What do you think about that game?
First time he ever hit his iPad, that was Roblox.
First rage? Yes. The first game rage?
That was his first rage. I still keep in my car the bent iPad with the cracked screen because there's an actual real bent. Where he took the iPad and just slammed it against his knee.
Oh no! Wow, that's crazy, bro.
Was the punishment harsh and severe?
Mine, yes.
What do you mean? The mom not so
when he was with his mother, he wasn't being punished?
Yes.
Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. Yeah, that's a problem.
But
they just can't punish. They have. I don't want to, I want to project on all the women of the world, okay?
No, we're generalizing.
Clearly haven't met all of them.
We're generalizing, sure.
Yeah, sure. I don't want to generalize, but...
we are, though. It is what it is.
No, but I'm saying that the women I know in my life are incapable of keeping their children in the framework of what they think is right and wrong.
Which is a problem, because then you get spoiled children. Unless the dad is doing his job.
Exactly. It always falls to me.
But, hey, at least someone is being the disciplinary.
No, but then
it's worse.
No, that's bad. But then you have the good cop, bad cop. No, that's bad.
That's bad, but that's how it usually goes.
Yeah, but like you said, I remember that dynamic even from my childhood, right? As being as a child.
But you were told, wait until your father gets home.
Exactly.
And that's a problem.
That's a problem.
And we were all like scared, waiting for.
As a father, I'm telling you, that's an issue.
Can you elaborate?
Wolf said it. It's good cop, bad cop. You're suddenly the bad guy.
But
you're the bad guy.
But your son still
you're
loves
the
you
one,
and respects you.
Not the same way.
Not the same way. Yes.
Yes, he feels you. That's not good.
I mean, I don't know if fear.
It puts a distance.
Fears is a strong word. Fear
is if you're doing it in a certain way that unfortunately work and grind can make you do. And I'm not justifying it, but it happens. But they can also resent you because you're the one who punishes. He comes to you.
It stands between what they want and what they get.
Yes. And if they go to the
and
mother,
also they try to manipulate the mother, right?
They're smart. That's why they know how to.
They know. Yeah. They do it naturally.
Yeah. Exactly. They know how to.
Yeah.
So from her they get what they want, and from you they don't.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I remember, again, I can look at how it was for me and my brothers and my sister, right? It's exactly the same shit. We play to the mother, right?
The ideal is that there's a line that you decide on both of you and you both keep it.
But it doesn't change the fact.
That's the ideal.
I think.
Yes, that's it. The ideal.
I don't know. I don't see it the same way, like exactly the same way. But maybe it's because I don't. It's not maybe. It's for certain because I'm not. I don't have children of my own. I have no idea.
Or a woman to answer to.
Exactly. If I did have a family of my own, I'm sure the dynamic would be either very similar to what you guys are explaining, or I don't know. Maybe I'd find some crazy, discipline and our career army women. A woman that is more crazy than I am. I don't know, but we'll see. What I'm trying to say is I don't have that, right? How I idealistic see it is you do need to kind of fear your father. Not fear. I don't like that word. You need to respect your father. You need to respect the male model the only male model at first.
And there might be a male model. You need to respect boundaries.
Sure. Yes.
That's the point.
Sure.
But if only one of the two partners keeps the boundaries, then you know when you want something where to get it. And that puts an imbalance in the way you perceive both of the authorities in your life.
And also gender roles.
Right.
Also gender roles. Because he sees the man needs to say no. The woman says, I'm talking about my household. The woman says yes. Mother says yes.
First and turns into a yes later.
So now the one who gives is the mother. And you need to always say no. You need to say
yes.
You're never the nice guy.
Yes, you're never the nice guy.
But let me just counter that. I'm being the devil's advocate. You said before when we talked about the whole big debate about the companies and capitalism and all that. That's a capitalistic society. That's how it goes. I'll counter to you guys by saying that's nature. That's how it is. Women are a bit more, usually, again, I'm generalizing, I understand. And women I knew from my life, from my childhood, and from what you guys are saying, it all makes sense. Usually, they less discipline their children than the men do. Or they don't, the intensity is a whole different level. I do know, like, my dad was disciplined very hard, very badly by his mom. Like his mom was a very hard woman, He wasn't. She wasn't like you guys are just describing right now, or like my mom, right, or like her mom. So those women obviously exist, but in general, I feel like the gender role, like you said, that's nature. That's just how it is. Women are usually a bit more soft-hearted.
I think that's what you are used to.
I'm not saying there are no outliers also. Yes, because there will always be outliers.
Of course, so am I. We're generalizing, of course. But it's based on our lived experiences, right? And our friends and our families.
The thing is, you see yourself as the bad guy. You start to see yourself. I start to see myself as the bad guy when I'm the only one.
In that role.
And you don't. I don't want to be in that role.
So don't you think it's a matter of perspective, just?
You are stuck between the decision of letting go and not keeping what you think should be kept, the boundaries, against trying to be nice to your children so they will like you too.
But you're not supposed to be their friend. You're supposed to be their parent.
Try to say that when you're divorced.
Of course. Listen,
I'm saying try to say it when you're divorced when the parents are even completely separate.
Sure, but okay.
When there is one parent that tries to keep boundaries.
That's a whole different
who is detached
dynamic.
even
but that's
from
a whole
the
different
parent.
dynamic than
But that also happens.
Yeah, of course, sure.
Okay.
Of course.
If you're gonna keep the boundaries, and that means ignoring their pleas and their cries and everything, that means you at those points need to detach yourself emotionally in a certain way.
Which our male men are usually more better at doing than women.
It doesn't matter if it's easier for you or not. I'm just
saying that's nature. I'm just saying that's how it
No, that's not.
Doesn't matter.
What do you mean?
That's exactly not.
So you think this hasn't been an issue like 2,000 years ago?
I don't know what it was.
Programmed that like that from society from the beginning with, that's what you expect.
Think about how much you have learned that men should be emotionally detached and how that affected your decision through life.
That's fair.
But it doesn't have to be this way. Not all men are emotionally detached.
Of course
their
not.
children see things differently.
But men in general, they go and do jobs that require more emotional detachment in general, again, than female. Would you agree with that assessment? If you think soldiers
in the country you live in, you want to say that?
No,
I'm just saying no.
No, even go with gender based. I think you need a lot more detachment to be a kindergarten teacher than to be a construction worker.
I disagree.
Emotional detachment?
A construction worker that's a very specific.
I took two
example.
very specific gender roles.
I'm talking about whom perform more dangerous jobs usually in general. Men, right? Male.
But you said we talked about detachment and I think to see kids going between you. Yeah. I don't know even what you're doing in your life yourself.
Cops, soldiers, what do you want? Medics, people who, women are very good at it in medicine. Women are very, very good doctors. They can emotionally detach. But in general, I'm saying, I feel like if you're again, soldiers is the best example, right? Because most of them are male in combat roles, not all of them, but most of them. And you need to detach yourself when you do some certain things in those situations that men are more primed to do from evolution, just evolutionary. We're more conditioned to do it.
Are you? Because the numbers of PTSD people that need to be taken care of shows that you are not that good at detaching yourself as you think.
Yes.
I mean, you can look at the PTSD numbers, but you can also look at the highly successful people who came out of wars and risen through the ranks. And
it makes you a fighter.
It is what it is. Violence and war is part of human nature. That's exactly what I'm saying.
How is that related to what we said?
Because that's human nature. I'm saying that
that doesn't mean you are detached emotionally.
I'm not saying you should be detached emotionally, especially not from your children. Of course not. That's not my point.
I'm saying generally. You said men are more inclined to be easily detached emotionally. I'm saying not necessarily. I'm saying this is something you were raised to believe.
I feel like not just me. I feel like generation of men before me, including you.
Exactly.
Yes, we're saying the same thing.
Yes.
No, if you were raised to it, that means it's not by nature. It's not your nature to be.
You're saying it's nurture, not nature?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm saying I'd say it's a bit of both, okay?
No.
I think it is a bit of nature as well.
No, wait. Some
is
men,
nature.
some women are more in nature easier to detach emotionally than others. But this is not a gender thing.
Don't get stuck on the gender and get stuck on the word nature. It's human nature.
But this is what we were contesting.
Yes.
It's not a gender thing. Some people have it easier to detach themselves emotionally from things. 100%. Some people are less. Some people are very, very empathetic. Some people are far less. That's okay. But it's not a gender-based thing.
Listen,
completely not a gender-based thing.
I didn't say. I'm saying it's not a gender-based thing. It is 100% a sex thing. It is 100% a sex thing.
When we say this is not a woke conversation. When we say gender, we mean sex.
Okay, so because gender and sex are two different words with two different meanings.
Okay, not people who identify as male. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. Some detach easier, some less. It doesn't matter what your sexual orientation or your sex is, whatever you want to call it.
I'm out of this conversation.
all right, let's find.
I'm not gonna be on record with
What? I don't understand. What exactly did I say that is so uncomfortable to talk about? That men are being men and women are being women in general.
It's not uncomfortable. I will talk to you about that all day.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
You're saying what your father believed, his father believed. A lot of fathers believed up until I have no idea when. Okay? But somewhere across the line, it was decided that men shouldn't feel.
That's not what I'm saying, though.
But that's what was decided.
But that's not what I'm saying. You're taking my words to the extreme.
I'm not taking your words at all. I'm taking what you said. I'm taking what you said.
I'm not speaking in absolutes here. We already said generalizing.
I said maybe. And we said maybe, not necessarily, and it could be something that was just implied upon you and not something you realized yourself.
I absolutely agree, because that's the nurture part, right? That's how I was raised, and that's why my belief system is the way it is, right?
Not makes just sense. You.
No, but that's what makes you believe that this is also nature.
But it is. I'm not talking to you about my own personal beliefs here, okay? Yeah, I mean, I am, but I'm talking about above that. I'm talking in general, statistics-wise. Yeah. Statistics-wise, there's so many studies that show that women.
You have examples?
Oh my God, bro! Don't give me the do you have example shit. Go Google it later. You'll find plenty of examples. I promise you, because I learned psychology.
So sentence. Studies of what?
Studies that show that women gravitate towards certain roles and jobs in life. You could say that society. I absolutely agree. You could say that society and nurture is what makes them gravitate towards less towards STEM, the fields, and more towards other fields like fields that are working with children and stuff like that. Statistically, also, you will see. I'm not lying, and I think you know that more women are usually in fields that involve children than men. Statistically, if you don't believe me, go check it out. Check the statistics in all over the world, not just in our country or in America or in other countries.
This is my field of job.
Right.
I work in this field.
Sure.
And I'm telling you that you're saying things that are incorrect to my knowledge.
So go check it. I'm telling you, go.
I checked it. I read these studies. And we have programs designed to make girls be more interested in STEM.
Why? Why?
Because the studies show this is how society is railroading them to things that are far from STEM.
But why is society doing that? Why?
Because
why is the human?
Nurture.
Because this is
how things have been.
Why? It started somewhere. Why is it like this?
Because somewhere, when you were villages and there were attacks and stuff like that.
Evolution. Something that has to do with something with our ancestor history, right? Something with surviving, having to do this and that.
Maybe. I don't know enough about it. But I can tell you, definitely, that it is completely, to me at least, nurture.
I disagree. I think it's a combination of both of them.
I see myself forced over and over. What started this specific line of questioning to be the bad guy. It is forced upon me by me wanting to educate my sons.
Educate, exactly.
No,
or discipline
against the actions of his ex-wife, who he can control.
That's okay. Well, all right. I see what you're saying.
But even within a marriage, it still happens. That was your point of view.
Yes.
Because even inside a marriage, it still goes on like that.
Yes.
Okay? And that is objectively forced upon me.
Right.
Because for me, as Wolf said before, it's either I choose to let it go, not educate, not put a boundary,
right?
Yeah,
or accept that this will be only me.
This is the role that he has to take, and the price that he has to pay.
What would be the ideal situation where both parents are?
Yes, you agree. What is the boundary of the behavior, and both of you keep that boundary. In all situations.
So isn't that a communication issue between the parents?
No, because most of the time they even agree.
They agree. They agree theoretically, just not in practice.
Then how can you tell me that it's not a nature thing, bro? Come on. Are you kidding me?
What do you mean, how can I tell you? Because she grew up in a house that exactly operated this way.
But again, you're getting into the... Yes, because that... And
her
mother grew like that. And her mother's mother...
Yeah, this is nurture.
If it goes like that all over the world for centuries, then it's not just nurture. It's also nature.
No, you can't say that. You are giving me a statistical connection, not a...
I'm taking you a logic-based connection.
Doesn't matter. That doesn't prove anything.
Sure, what you're saying is not provable either. We're talking about we're generalizing.
Of course, you can prove
right off the beginning. No, you can't.
No, you do. You just need to do a proper case study.
Sure, you can say
and
that.
Lots of these case studies were made.
Yes, they were.
And they proved what I'm saying.
I disagree completely. They proved what I was saying. But wait, that's something we want to we won't find a solution to it here. I do completely agree though with what you're saying. It is also a nurture. It's also a social thing. 100%. I'm just saying you can't ignore the human nature part of it.
You're not saying it's 100%.
Just like wars are part of human nature. You can laugh all you want. Just like wars are human nature, and we will always want to kill each other because that is part of our human nature. You can hate it. You can say no, it's not. It's greed. It's what? Sure, greed is also part of human nature. Humans are usually pretty fucking greedy in general. Sorry, it is what it is. That's how we are, man. You can hate it. You can say what you want. That's how we are. You can accept it and learn how to, do better in that situation. Like you said, either communicate with the partner or accept that you're supposed to be the detached bad guy. It sucks. I get it. But maybe, go and talk to somebody about it, right? And find a way to not feel so bad about it. Or maybe, I don't know, there's all kind of ways. But I'm speaking like a fucking idiot, ignorant fuck who's single without children. So obviously what I'm saying is a very narrow viewpoint. I'm not seeing it like you. I'm letting
him finish.
Alright, I think we're done, guys.
Episode 16.
It's been episode 16 of Midgame Life Crisis. I am Inconsistency.
And Blazing Zombie Rhino.
Yeah! We are out! See you guys.
Yeah.